last few years, we've seen teams move away from 2 7-footers, like what we saw Cleveland play with this past season and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But they got dominated by Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks. They lost. I think they lost in 5, right? That series only went 5 games.
You know what? I don't even know. Like, I've been working so much that I have not actually watched 1 ounce of playoff basketball since it started.
Oh my gosh, you've missed so many great games.
I know. Probably over the past 3 weeks, I've probably covered 24 games, like high school games. I mean, I'm doing double headers. I'm doing lacrosse. Like, dude, like I'm like knee deep in high school sports right now. But I am going to commit to start watching some playoff basketball because apparently I'm missing some really good series and it kind of pisses me off. But to your question with the bigs, when I look at the bigs in Cleveland versus what New York had, because New York had 2 bigs as well. Yeah. You know, they had Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. If you look at Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, both of those guys are non-perimeter type of bigs, right? Yeah. I think Julius Randle is the type of big that you have to pair if you want to do a 2 big lineup, because Julius Randle has a mid-range game. He can play in the post. I'm sure he can hit a 3-point shot if he's wide open. And that's why I think Troy Weaver is probably going to stay pat because he has Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart is the key to a 2 big lineup possibly working. Then maybe you fall in the draft. You have a Jarace Walker that you could pair with James Wiseman or Jalen Duren, or you have a Cam Whitmore that makes more sense. I think Troy Weaver's vision for the 2 big lineup is something that he still wants to do because he hasn't really seen it for a full 82 games. And for me, I would be very surprised if, you know, he's been preaching 2 bigs since he's got here, saying that he loves centers. I'd be very surprised if he just said, yeah, doesn't work, because he's invested so much draft capital into it.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's more about you made a point about the type of bigs you're bringing in. And it feels like with James Wiseman, Duren, and Marvin Bagley, we know Marvin Bagley has a little bit of an outside shot. He's just very inconsistent from there. But with the bigs that he has brought in, it doesn't seem like it's going to work like it does for the Boston Celtics or the New York Knicks that just got to the second round. You know, I mean, I feel like at some point, you know, it's just going to be Duren with 4 other guys 6'8" or shorter out there, and we're going to see more of a modern NBA offense instead of 2 bigs with the Detroit Pistons. I mean, obviously you got Isaiah Stewart, but, you know, we know his shortcomings already. Like, is he going to be the starting 4 or the starting, you know, even starting for us for the Detroit Pistons, you know, all of next season? Or is it going to be a Bojan? Or is it going to be an Isaiah Livers? Or is it going to be one of the rookies they draft with the top 5? There's still a lot of questions, but I'm with you. I don't think Cleveland losing means Troy Weaver's just going to scrap the 2 big lineup, you know, altogether. But I think it's going to take a little bit more time of getting it right, just because, you know, we have 2 bigs in James Wiseman and Marvin Bagley where they're close to being modern bigs with the outside shooting, but they're just not there yet. They're more of your classic bigs that like to play near the basket with their back to it. So we'll see, man. But again, I'm with you. I don't see Troy Weaver just throwing it out the window.
I did want to add to it because when I saw this topic in the prep sheet, it had me thinking because, like, obviously a lot of people look at Cleveland as kind of the success of having 2 non-shooting bigs. But, I mean, if you look at Boston, for example, they have Al Horford and Robert Williams starting most nights, right?
Yep.
I think if you want to have a 2 big lineup, you're going to have a guy. I think Tony said it very well. You're going to have the guy that can rebound. You have to have a guy that can shoot threes and facilitate, basically. And Al Horford does all 3 of those things. I think Isaiah Stewart has the potential to stretch the floor. He has the potential to switch. Like you've said before, he has really good footwork for a defender. His only weakness, I would kind of say, is rebounding. And I'd be nitpicking at it, if I'm being honest with you. But I think a 2 big lineup can work. It's just you're going to have to find one of those guys to, like, really, you know, be that glue so you can try to keep doing that 2 big lineup. I think it can work. It's just you need the right pieces in place. And I'm not sure if the Pistons have the right bigs in place, but, you know, we saw when James Wiseman and Jalen Duren were out there. I mean, they were passing to each other. They were rebounding. They were affecting the game defensively. They weren't blocking a ton of shots, but they were affecting shots. And I think that's what Troy Weaver's vision was, is, trying to, protect that paint so you don't have, guards just going into the lane and getting easy baskets. So I think it can work. It's just you have to get those right type of bigs to make sure that they complement everyone else on the court.